What's an American anyway? What the hell is an American? What is an American? What is America? Is it a way of life? Is it a people? Well, America's been watching a people that have a democracy or had a democracy. No, they have one. They're willing to fight for it. And they have a stake in their country. Everybody is sending the women out of the country to live somewhere else, to save their children and their women as much as they can. They're sending them out of the country, but the men are staying and they're fighting for their country because they have an elected government, elected by the people, a popular vote. My gosh, a popular vote. Something this America has not seen in a while, where the popular vote decides and the Electoral College doesn't decide. And that is a problem. The Electoral College. It makes all elections in the United States suspect. But we've watched the people in Ukraine. That's the country that's willing to fight for its country, for its democracy. They're willing to die for their country, and they are dying for their country. And then there are Americans who call themselves leaders and consider themselves spokesmen. There's a guy called Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson went to Hungary, which is near Ukraine. The Hungarians are very generous people. They're a landlocked country. That is to say, there's no ocean on their borders, and they have a strict border, and they control it. They've invited Ukrainians into Hungary, as many as 900,000, which is a big invitation, because they respect the people willing to fight for democracy also. They have a leader who's been elected 4 times through what they call an electoral autocracy, meaning he is kind of the final say. People suspect his elections are rigged, but whether they are or they're not, they're kind of democratic. And Tucker got on their local TV there and compared them to the United States and said the United States was something less than open, less than democratic, and that the leader of this country called the United States is not very smart, and that basically it was better to be living in Ukraine. But he said, no, no, excuse me, I'm Tucker, and I don't want to leave the United States. Because after all, when you're in another country and you're putting down your own country in another country, you kind of risk losing your citizenship. You're basically rescinding where you lived before in the country you have passport from. A lot of countries, when you do that, will send a note back to the country you came from. Do you have a citizen by the name of Tucker Carlson? And the answer is maybe not. Maybe not. He didn't say much good about this country, but he kept on at it pretty heavily. And that the people were not very smart in this country, and that there's only one honest voice in the country and in the media. It's called Fox News, which is where he works. And then he did all that in honoring our country to no good. But Hungary is a good country. It's part of NATO, and it knows it has the protection against Russia by NATO. And so Orban, the dictator of Hungary, has condemned the invasion of Putin, of Hungary, a democratic country, with their elections. Democracy is kind of important because then free speech, the Bill of Rights, those kind of things are honored in democratic countries. And when you don't attack your fellow man for saying things you don't like, well, if you respect your fellow man, you allow him the free speech, things you like or dislike, that's free speech. May I disagree, but you agree to disagree. And I disagree with Tucker Carlson in the main, especially the way he did this. I've traveled in Europe a number of times, and I know democratic government when I see it, when they don't arrest you for saying things against the government. And they do that in Russia routinely. And Putin was praised from this from the podium in Orlando, Florida. The CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee, were blasting Putin and praising Putin, blasting our president and praising Putin as a genius, kind of what Tucker Carlson did. It's enough about Carlson. I'm going to talk about someone else. Let's break off right here, right now. But either love your country or leave it. Well, at least love free speech in your country and allow someone else to do the same. Thank you.